Hi, I'm Jill. Welcome back to my channel. Now today, as part of the Sew Marathon event, we are making the Sammy wallet by So Many Creations. The link is down below if you want to make yours as well. So this is a cute little wallet. You can put your double zippers on it. It has got a coin pouch in the middle, and as you can see, plenty of credit card slots. And I have changed mine up with different quilting cottons. So I'm doing something a little bit different today. I got a Pfaff 30. My model is 70 years old. This is the first project I have made on the little Pfaff. So why don't you come along and watch me try out my little machine now. These are all the pieces I've got prepared. I have got my 2 zipper pulls, my label. I'm putting a cute little tag in it. I've got my gusset pieces. Now I have made a change to these, and I have actually joined it, so I'm not going to be sewing down the middle. So this is normally in 2 pieces, so I've removed the seam allowance and done it in 1. I have done my 6 credit cards and I have pressed those all in half or wrong sides together. I have got interfacing on 2 of my pocket and trimmed those to the line, the zipper pocket as required. I have got my 2 shaped pieces, my 2 exterior with the interfacing on them, and my 2 interior, which I also have interfacing on. So let's top stitch down the end of all our pocket pieces. Now the reverse on this machine is a little bit interesting, but let's give this a try, shall we? See how it goes. This is my very first sew on my little Pfaff, so let's see how we go. So my tension is all okay. I'm just going to run those together. So I'm going to put these in a particular order on my wallet. Is it like that? So that will be my top, my middle, and my bottom. So we now want our interior, which I am doing the stripe. We're going with this one at the top edge. We're sewing down there. So we can trim all these later. Then we want to place our second one, which is my stripe. Now we're going to do our next pocket a little bit differently, and we're going to line it up right next to the other one and sew at the 1/4 of an inch. I think my only issue with this machine is how little the stitches are. This is on the 5. So this is on the highest stitch length. So it looks like it's the longest stitch length I can go, but they seem quite narrow. But anyway, we'll see how it's okay. So now we're going to flip that up and sew it at the 1/4 of an inch. So that's what we've got, our 3 credit cards, all in a row and stitched down. So now we'll do the same with the second one.
So now we want to stitch down the side after trim our edges. And sew down the side at 1/4 inch and 1/2. Then we're going to mark the centre like that, and sew up there, and I'm going to turn around and come back down, so I'm stitching from there turn around and come back down in the same stitches. So there are our credit card slots. So I shall do the same with this one. So I am using Tech 45 in this, and it seems to be handling it really well. So that's our 2 credit card pieces. I might go and give those a bit of a press and just trim that up a little bit. So we should put those aside for now. And we're going to work on these. Now I have cut them as a double piece. Now in the pattern we're asked to cut rectangles and cut some off. I've removed the seam allowance from this edge and doubled it so that it's one piece like that. So I'm not stitching down there. I'm just going to be stitching across the top and the bottom at the seam allowance given. String these together. So right sides together. So you should have 4 of these. Oops, off the edge of that one. It is a cute little machine, isn't it? 70-year-old. That's pretty amazing. That's 2 done, and the last 2. So there's all our little wings. So now we want to push those through to be right side out. So you can press these if you want to. So we've lined that up with the edge, with the bottom edge of our credit card, and with the top, and we're going to stitch down there. Like that. With all 4. can't remember the last time I've made something all in quilting cotton, but it is kind of cute. And this one. Don't forget the bigger side is at the top. There's our wings. So now we want to get our little zipper pocket. So we need our zip, and we're going to put that right side down along the top or the widest part of our pocket. And we're going to sew that in place. In fact, I might sandwich it first. And then sandwich it with our other side. Now you can double side tape here, so you've got the fabric's right side together and the zip the right side down with your exterior. Make sure this all stays together. Surprisingly quiet, this little machine. Like that. And we're going to do the same with the other side. Right sides together with our zip, like that, and sandwich it with our other side, like that. So we've got, if we take the middle out, we've got right sides together. So we've got our right sides together and our linings right sides together. So I'm going to stitch down just my zipper. I'm not going to include the lining. And the other side. Again, I'm not including the lining. Like that. Then we shall put our right sides together and our wrong sides together. So we want our teeth to go towards the lining like that. Then I'm going to sew down those sides, making sure that stays even. Now I'm just going to sew onto my zipper tape here as far as I can, and I'm going to backstitch. Now this is a little bit different from the pattern, but I don't like to stitch over my zipper tape. The zipper teeth to the lining like that, and down there. Sew as close as you can. And I'm going to do the same from this side. Now the pattern has you sew over the zipper teeth. I'm not going to be doing that today. Open your zip, but I haven't put my zipper pull on, which is really cool. Let's see if I can get my zipper pull on in here. Smart move, wasn't it? Let's see if we can save that. See if I've just got enough, because I haven't sewn over it. Let's see if I've got enough to put it on. Let's see if I can save it. So I have saved that. Now I'm going to push my zip right sides out, like that. Push the edges out, like so. And bring our linings together at the bottom. So my linings are all together at the bottom. Okay. And we can trim that to be even if we want to, so that all our linings are even. And we'll put that aside for now. So then we're going to take our exterior and our lining. So we're going to line up along the bottom. And we're going to top stitch along the edge, but I am going to put some double-sided tape on here because I don't want this moving, so I'm just going to put some tape along there like that, keeping it well out of my seams. So we're lining up the bottom and the sides. Right, so what we're going to do now is stitch down the sides along the bottom at 1/8 of an inch. Like that. So we've stitched the sides, the bottom and the top. We'll do that on the side as well. So now I'm going to mark my centres with a very tiny nick. So we'll take our zip, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to make the slightest little nick in the middle of my zip. Just absolutely tiny so I can just see it. Going to line up our centres. So put our zip right side together and clip our way around. Now I'm going to make the slightest little nicks in my zip. Now these are less than 1/4 of an inch, less than 1/8 of an inch, just around the top corner. This makes it so that you can bring your zip around the edge like that. Now I'm leaving my zip together until I have sewn it on one edge. It's easier to strip it apart. It's easier to pull it apart like that. Now I'm keeping my clips within the last 1/4 inch because that's where you're going to be sewing. If you clip it too far down, it's really easy to actually get it so that it's too tight or too loose. Now I don't know if you can see that. There's a change of weave here. And I always make sure I keep any snips within this change of weave because that is like a reinforcing weave on your zip. And if you go past that, you can have a few problems. Now I'm going to baste this in place and then I'm going to sandwich the other side. So I'll do both of those. Okay, so let's sew around both of those. So that's one. Now this is just within the 1/8 of an inch. So now we want to take one of each of these, our credit card pocket, and again, mark our centres and line that up, right sides together, over the top. Make sure our zip's down in there properly as it should be, because we don't want to catch our zip around the top. Make sure nothing is tucked in at the back like I have. Okay. Just going to trim those to be even. So these are both ready to sew. They are right sides together. So now what we're going to do is just sew around those. I think this is going to just be a go slow and see how she goes. Now I'm sewing on the wrong side. Zipper tape is coming up in there, so I just need to push that down in the back. Out the way. That seems to be all okay. Let's sew the other one. I'll do this. I'm a fan of trimming my curves with my pinking shears. Like that. Okay, they're going on the floor. I've got a good vacuum cleaner. It'll clean it all up in a minute. So now we're going to turn that right side out and check all the corners. I think that seam there, we don't catch our gusset in it, but I think that seam there might be a bit thick for my little machine. I don't think there's any chance of this little machine being able to top stitch this. I'm going to hand crank round there. Okay. So that's sewn all the way around there. We'll do the same on the other one. So that's both of those sewn. Now I'm going to put my tag on. Which one do I think is best? I don't think it matters. They both look the same. And I think I'm going to put my tag in the middle there. I think that'll look quite cool in the middle. So let's find the middle. That's my tag. And now I shall put my zipper pulls on. Put one on from either side. That's cute. Make sure there's not a bubble, that's fine. And I'm just going to keep them off the edge so that I can keep it together and work on it. So now we're going to stitch our little zipper pocket in. Now we're not sewing through the outside, we're just sewing through the lining. Line up the centre. And we're going to sew along there, not sewing through the middle, like that. So the machine's capable of sewing over these things, it just doesn't like sewing uphill. like that. So my outsides are right side together, and I'm going to sew down there at the given seam allowance. Keep the pulls out the way. And we're going right across there. Now I actually want to butterfly these seams, and I know that's not part of the pattern, but I actually like a butterflied seam, and I think it's going to look really cool from the outside. So I'm going to open that up. Actually, I might just take that off because it really doesn't matter if it's on there or not at the moment. I'm butterflying that seam. Now I'm going to keep everything out the way at the back. And open up the seam. Come to the end, just go across the end, I think. And back down the other side, making sure everything is out the way. So now, from what I gather, we're turning those inside out. So that we can sew our linings together. Tuck your lining down in there. And bring your lining together. Like that. Oops, that's on the floor. And I'd say, from what I understand, that we're leaving a turning gap. Because we're going to turn this through this gap. So maybe just to there should be enough. So I'm going to sew that end piece and that piece there. So now we get to turn it through. I suppose I should put my zipper pull back on, shouldn't I? Not that it probably do it from the other side anyway. I'm going to push it through there. There's our little coin pouch. Pulling the ends out. So what we're going to do now is turn this little end under. So you can either sew this by hand, which would give you a really nice little finish, or you can fold it in half. In fact, I'm going to sew it by hand so it's all nice and even. Close the wallet. Like that. So we've got our seams together, like that. And we're going to sew across there. Now be careful if you're on a domestic like me. You might want to hand crank this because you are going over your zipper teeth. So now you can trim your zipper off like that. Make sure you're not catching anything at the back. And you want to give that a good melt. Now this wallet does have wall pieces in there. That is the design of the wallet. I could bind that bit in there. So I'm going to trim my seam down just a little bit more. As you can see, I've done 2 rows of stitching, one on the very edge just to catch it all. like that. And I'll repeat that on the other side. So now we want to bring our wings together. And we're going to sew down there. And this side. So now we just push our wallet through in our corners. Be careful when you push it through. That is our wallet. We've got our credit cards in there, our coin purse in the middle. So that is my Sammy all finished. I think it is super cute. It is all in cotton, my one, except for the bottom, which is vinyl. And I have split my seams and butterflied those. I have also put some fabric edge tape or fabric tape over the bottom in the corners. That gives a really nice finished edge in there. The other thing you might like to do if you don't like the raw edge in here, put some basting spray or some glue along the edges before you actually sew those in place. But I don't think that's particularly necessary.
Well, I think my little Pfaff did a great job of that. What do you think? Drop a comment down below if you've enjoyed watching my little machine or if you've got a vintage sewing machine. I think they're awesome. So guys, thanks for watching and have a great day.